This is a Dragon Blazer production.
First down! Touchdown! Bengals! Here you go. Oh no! Oh gosh, no! Who Dey Bitching about them Bengals?
Hey everyone, welcome to Who Dey Bitching. My name's Steven and I am the host of Who Dey Bitching, and I've got my co-host right here. I got Boomer.
How we doing, everybody?
And we have a special guest from the Stuff I Never Knew podcast, Jeff.
How's it going? Mr. Steel City, as I'm known as.
Yeah, we went and we got ourselves a Steelers fan on here that doesn't know shit about current Steelers. I did that on purpose. He's going to try to defend his team.
Yeah.
While not knowing who the running back is.
Right. Hey, he thought Jerome Bettis was still playing. It's fine.
I almost thought of who the running back was. I don't know. I really don't know.
That's the kind of guest we get on the Who Dey Bitching podcast.
I know their record. I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, there we go with it.
But in fairness, he is actually from and lives in Pittsburgh.
Yes, to be fair.
So we got an official Pittsburgh native here.
Sorry.
Who just happens to know there's a team involved.
I know we almost relived that. Was it the 95 Super Bowl this weekend where we almost lost to the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh my gosh, let's talk about that. Yeah.
Wow.
I watched the most of that game. And you guys let a scrub off the Browns practice squad almost come back and win this game. In fact, you were losing the entire game until the very end. Yeah. And, of course, Ben Roethlisberger had to score a touchdown somehow. And
yeah, I was actually watching that game, and I walked away, and I'm like, whatever. It's like, we're already 7-0. What's the big deal? We lose one. And then I gave up on the team. I went and did some work around the house. And I was like, hey, what happened to the game? And like, oh, they won. I was like, what? They were not playing the win on Sunday.
No, and that seems to be like a thing with the Steelers.
Yeah, they have the season.
They have this habit of losing to the bad teams and showing up for the good ones.
Oh,
almost every time, every year.
And we're the kings of blowing a first half lead. I know that for a fact. Like, there are so many games. If we're up 2 scores, 3 scores going into halftime, I can guarantee you by the end of the game we will have blown that lead, and we're probably going to lose, or we'll just squeak out. Like, we're so many hair-raising wins that are just like we should have won way earlier in the game, but we blow it. And then we just barely squeak by with a field goal at the end.
and they've been doing that all year. The only real dominant win they've had this year is against the Browns. Every other win they've had has been against subpar teams.
Yeah, it's been bad teams almost
with really close scores. They beat the Giants by 10 points in week 1. The Giants.
They're the only undefeated team, and they don't look good.
Yeah, I just know as long as we walk away with wins from the Ravens and the Browns, it was a good season.
I know. This is the game we want to win.
Yeah,
I actually was kind of not fully, because I can't bring it into my heart to ever actually root for the Steelers. But there was a part of me that was happy that you won, because that means if we beat you next week, we get to have your first loss. That'd be kind of
makes
sweet.
it that much more.
Yeah, a little bit sweet.
And I really hope there's some reports about Ben and his knees, and I hope Ben gets to play, because I don't want any excuses.
Yeah, I don't want any excuses.
No Brady and the Bucks, and you had to go to the Tampa Bay for us to beat beat you.
Oh, that was ugly. That was
That was the worst loss of Tom Brady's career right there.
I fell asleep during that game. It was so. It was boring in the fact that it wasn't a game, but it was fun in the fact that I hate Tom Brady.
And Drew Brees obviously has his number, which makes him great,
Drew Brees destroyed him last night.
Yeah,
They managed to get 3 points. I was hoping for a shutout, but
it was close.
Everybody loves Brady misery.
That's right. Unless you're a Brady fan. Unless you're a Patriots fan, and I don't know, there might be a lot of Patriots that are a little salty that he left. So
never know.
But I'm sure they're happy when he tanks.
I think it's just an interesting story in the league this year for sure to see what the Patriots do without him and what Brady does down there in Tampa Bay. They look like one of the best teams in the NFL as long as they don't play the Saints. That's really, you just can't play the Saints and you'll be fine. He's in a real division now where he has to play real teams twice a year. So
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah,
he's had a long couple years getting to play the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Every once in a while, they don't completely suck.
Yeah,
for the most part, it's been smooth sailing for Brady and company.
So you think they'll bring back Drew Bledsoe then in New England?
He might be better than Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's not doing too hot over there.
We'll bring back Neil O'Donnell, so it'll be
Neil O'Donnell.
Neil McDonald. O McDonald.
Look, you throwing out these old names.
Really?
Norm McDonald.
Maybe Benny Testaverde would want to come back to the league. I don't know if he ever played in New England. Go real and get you one of those announcers.
All these old names. What's the Steelers best linebacker?
I don't know. Which position's the linebacker?
Oh, jeez. We picked the right man.
Yeah, we did. His only defense is, hey, we're undefeated.
We're undefeated, and do they put French fries on sandwiches in Cincinnati? I don't think so.
Now we're gonna hit on food too.
Oh, wait a minute.
You and your Skyline. Oh, I got 7-way chili.
No, that's chili. we put that chili on spaghetti and hot dogs.
It is really good. I gotta give you. I do like. I even buy frozen Skyline chili. Don't tell anybody in Pittsburgh.
Well, you told all.
Well, you just told everyone. Yeah, all four. Well, we had 8 listens this last episode.
Hey, double our audience.
Yeah,
Ching.
We got it. We're moving on up to the side.
But of course, the premise of our show is bitching, and then when you have a performance like last week where we won against a good team, it's like, what's the show going to be about?
Shit. Yeah,
you just talk smack on the Steelers. I'm okay with it. You're approved. Go ahead and say something about Cincinnati.
I was talking about. I was.
You were talking about the bye week, yeah.
And I wish we didn't have the bye week, even though we had a few players banged up. I wish we could have took that momentum from the Titans game and just kept riding it right into Pittsburgh.
That I mentioned that Joe Mixon's injured, and it's probably a good thing that we had the bye week when we had it, because we needed to get some players healed up.
Yeah, you're good at it.
Well, we have a little bit of concern with this game. Apparently, both the Steelers and the Bengals have had some COVID announcements.
Yeah.
So
there's only one Steelers player, and that's their tight end Vance McDonald. But there's 5 Bengals that will not be able to play because of COVID. Positive COVID.
Which ones?
The biggest one is Hunt. Our defensive tackle Hunt is on that list. These other guys, I don't think we got Fred Johnson, who's a right tackle, 2 cornerbacks, Trey Waynes and Mackenzie Alexander, and then Jordan Evans, a linebacker. So,
yeah, I didn't get to look at who it was. I just saw a notification saying 5 Bengals players test positive for COVID.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we already lost one game this year. Earlier, we had to move our bye week around with the Titans. The Titans had a big scare.
Yeah.
And, that caused us to cancel that game, and we had to move it. So, Yeah, well, I was thinking, like, what happens in a season if you can't get your 16 games in? Have they already allotted if teams have multiple COVID scares? Like,
Well, I don't think they've made a final decision what they're going to do, but they've been trying to move things around. They've also talked about possibly extending the season to have makeup games, so the Super Bowl and the playoffs will be a little later because of it. So they've been talking different things. They've also been throwing around the possibility of having an 18 playoff, which I'm not entirely sure how that works. If that means they're gonna with 8 teams, they're gonna let some games just not be played. Is that how it's gonna work?
I'm not sure how that works.
Not sure what, but they've been throwing around having 8 teams per side and adding one more team to the playoffs.
Living in the middle of a pandemic, what do you do? And if you've noticed, like the NFL left it up to every state the teams are in, whether they're allowed to have fans or not. So that's why some games you see fans and some games you still do not see fans because they're leaving it up to where the teams are actually located, what their local governments say.
Yeah. Yeah, not like that Notre Dame game I saw over the weekend, where it was like thousands of people, and then they all stormed the field. Like, this is not. I don't know if I would be comfortable.
I just read today that everyone has to get tested from that incident.
Yeah, they all have to quarantine. They're not even allowed to leave. I heard.
What game was that?
It was a college. Yeah, I can't remember.
I think it was Notre Dame, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Notre Dame game. Yeah.
And Clemson, maybe? Was that Clemson?
Whoever they played.
Yeah, somebody.
It wasn't the Ohio State game.
Clemson was ranked number 1. They lost this weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what caused all the
Oh, that's it. So it's the team that beat them. Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
There's that. Yeah, the NFL's actually saying they're going to allow 20% capacity at the Super Bowl. Seems like a lot of people for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, usually with that game's like 70, 80,000 probably. And you're talking 20,000, 25,000.
And then are you going to eliminate all those extracurricular things at the Super Bowl and just have the game? It'd be interesting to see what they decide about that. That's usually a week down there with all this interaction and everything else. But during these times, are they just going to do the game?
This would be the perfect year for that Weird Al Yankovic halftime show.
No,
Weird Al crying for years.
Weird Al should be playing and the biggest one with all the fans.
Well,
I mean,
no one's ever going to forget this one, though. So,
I mean, I guess to an extent it makes sense, but I've been one of those people petitioning Weird Al Yankovic showing up at the Super Bowl. I mean, come on.
Who doesn't want to see that?
Other guys.
Those other guys.
Weird Al Yankovic. He is a national treasure. We don't deserve Weird Al Yankovic.
All right, if Weird Al Yankovic plays the halftime show, over under, or would you take a bet on a wardrobe malfunction? Would he work it into the act?
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure.
I can't see a scenario where he doesn't. He's gonna be wearing the fat suit and the chin comes off of his prosthetic.
The chin comes off.
It would be the greatest thing ever.
I'm so embarrassed.
Actually, knowing Weird Al Yankovic, he'd probably just get Justin Timberlake on stage with them to do the wardrobe outfit.
That is a possibility.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get Weird Al, and then you get all the songs that he's parodied to make a special appearance with him. They have some fun. They goof around, and it's a great 20 minutes. I think it could be one of the best acts ever.
It'd be genius.
Here's the problem. This is why it might not happen. Because if Weird Al plays the Super Bowl halftime show, there's no one else going to be taking his place. He'll be doing it every year.
Oh, jeez. It'll be like the Las Vegas residency.
Every halftime show will be Weird Al Yankovic. Wow. You heard it here first.
Those are strong. I mean, I like Weird Al too, but wow, he really.
Weird Al's my idol.
I would have never guessed.
He'll become like the Ricky Gervais of award shows. Only Weird Al Yankovic can host halftime shows.
Yeah, there you go.
Or it will be Weird Al and whoever the other guest is.
Whoever.
And he'll have a new parody song for whoever that guest is every single time.
And special guest.
That's right. He's going to have Adele on there and do a parody called Jello.
I'd say maybe WAP. Maybe have a WAP song. Yeah.
I don't know. Weird Al is clean for the most part, so he might.
You
I'm
never
sure
know.
he could change it
These dirty songs sometimes. He
He
just
figures out how to do it.
to wonky accordion player. It could be. I thought that's what it meant anyway.
an accordion version of WAP.
Yeah. Wonky accordion player. Wacky accordion player. That's a WAP.
Accordion player. I mean, I'm down.
It
It's
could be a
Weird
good
Al.
time. You never know.
He's the greatest artist of our generation.
Wow. This is like a whole nother podcast.
Where's
this could
the
be a whole
lie?
nother.
Where's the lie? Oh yeah, we're talking about the Bengals.
Yeah, and football. And
Hey,
shit's
you know
bird.
what? This is all about the Super Bowl. I mean, it's well within my rights.
It is. I don't take your rights away.
That's still football.
You might have to borrow one of those towels when Weird Al doesn't show up at the halftime show. You're gonna need one of your cry towels. Okay?
I would never. I would never damage my eye tears on one of those towels.
Terrible towel.
Those are only good for burning.
So what you have to hear? What's the buzz down there? Even if you don't stay up with the Steelers right now, you have to hear talk around the city. I mean, their fans, is everybody going crazy? Like, yeah, we're undefeated.
I also don't talk to anybody, so I'm really a terrible guest for this show. But
you have no friends, okay?
Okay,
I have no friends. You get your work talk.
Watch sports since '91. Like, we get it. Okay.
I said Bubby Brister, I think, is coming back this year. You get your work talk, your Monday morning quarterback talk in the office. You get a little bit of that. People aren't going full crazy yet,
and they shouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean, not to take anything away, but they're not. When you look at the wins and how close the games were and everything, they're undefeated and they're finding a way. But when you are finding a way to win, that luck can run out eventually.
Yeah.
And they haven't had a hard schedule so far. So as soon as they start playing real teams, it's probably over.
Oh yeah, I mean Tennessee was the battle of the 5-0s, and we had another. I think we played another right before that was like a 4-1 game. It wasn't like we're not just skimping by. Dallas definitely we skimped by on that one, which was a shocker to be that close, and to be that far behind this weekend.
Even that Tennessee game was, right down to the wire. You guys scraped by with that win. So
that's the one where the team missed the field goal. Is that the one where and the meme of Ben whispering he missed? Was that the Tennessee game?
Yes, that was it. Yeah,
I believe that was Tennessee.
Yep, because it
was real close. It was within a score.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only lost because I think time ran out when they missed their field goal to win the game. That's how you're like.
Well, that's the thing. They keep catching.
Yeah, they keep getting lucky.
Other than the good beat, they beat the Browns pretty decently. But other than that, everyth's been luck. And
that's okay because Joe Burrow is going to throw all over the place, and just if the fourth string practice squad Brown scrub can do what he did last night, then by God, Joe Burrow is going to have a field day. I mean,
it's true.
I don't even think I'm being that bold when I say this, but I personally think that Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in our division.
Oh, you're being bold.
I am not. You got Baker Mayfield. I think he's better than Lamar Jackson. The way he's playing right now, I think he's better than. Lamar's not been playing lights out football. And then Ben Roethlisberger's doing enough to win and survive, but I don't think he's dominating anything either. The only one that I would maybe question is Lamar, and the way Lamar's been playing, I think that Joe Burrow is the best quarterback that is playing the best football out of all the AFC North quarterbacks.
But not really, but stats wise.
Yeah, but we have a shit line.
We do.
We have a shit defense.
And that was what was impressive in that last win is none of the guys on the offensive line were starters. in that Tennessee game. No one was
Yeah.
a starter.
None of them were starting.
And Burrow
at the
didn't get
beginning.
sacked.
Well, that was the part of that was because Burrow was escaping ridiculous things.
Because that is one of my worries with the Steelers is they're actually ranked sixth. Their defense is number 6 in the NFL, and our offensive line has been a problem since day one. So,
But that's my point is we don't have this line, and he's still putting up record numbers. He's almost tied, I think, for the most 300-yard plus games in a rookie season. He's got 4, and one more ties him with Andrew Luck, and we got 8 more games left of the season.
he's probably going to pass Andrew Luck's rookie season passing yards record.
I mean, he's breaking records without an offensive line. Imagine if that line keeps doing what they did last week and actually defend. I mean, he's going to be scary. I don't expect him to get away with no sacks this week, not with that Steelers line, but, TJ Watt's probably going to give him a few hugs.
Well, I was looking at quarterback ratings, right? They got Roethlisberger with a 64.2 and Burrow with a 60.6. I mean,
well, he's thrown a lot of balls.
He's got more interceptions than
he has 100 more plays than Roethlisberger this year.
Right.
Oh yeah, because we've been doing nothing but, throwing from behind. Roethlisberger actually, his run game's been pretty good. Joe Mixon had one good game, but teams have been stopping us on the run.
Yeah.
So Roethlisberger is for his own run a negative 3.2 yards on the season.
Yeah.
And Burrow's at 4.5.
Yeah.
He's running almost a first down more than Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
Huh?
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Hooray!
The turnover ratio, too. Pittsburgh has a +7 on turnovers, and we have a -1. So that's a...
Yeah, like I said, I feel like in our losses, we're like in the opposite boat of the Steelers, where we've been keeping all these games close. We're just not winning as many, where the Steelers are keeping it close with teams they shouldn't be and winning them, where we're not winning them until last week. And the Jaguars, I don't know if it was close. Actually, last week really wasn't all that close.
No, we did pretty good against the Titans.
We did really good against the Titans.
Most of our games have been close ones that we just couldn't finish.
Yeah, the only team that really dominated us was the Ravens.
Yeah.
And they just blitzed the crap out of Burrow.
Yeah. It was bad.
But I expect this to be a good game. I really want to shove it into your Steeler fans.
Yeah, I want Ben to be able to play and him to be healthy, but you know how these reports go. Like he's going to be fine, but they're saying both knees got hurt and they're wrapped. So
that's not going to be as fun to gloat.
No,
but I will still,
because that'll be then the Steelers fans will just be like, "Well, you didn't play Ben, you didn't play." But Mason, their backup's been there for a couple of years, and he played most of last season.
Yeah, and he sucks.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Nathan Rudolph is not a good quarterback.
So what do you do? But that would be the reason. Well, you didn't play Ben. You did play. I don't want to hear that. I want to be able to beat him with Ben and with Juju.
I agree. I want them at their best so we can really enjoy this gloating.
Which would be the first time that
I don't want to eat my words.
I've ate my words.
I'm tired of eating. I'm not hungry anymore. No more eating of the words.
Yeah, I don't eat anymore.
This is almost like your Super Bowl then, if you could beat the Steelers.
I mean,
I worry about talking shit. Before we played the Browns this year, I called them the cesspool of the NFL, and then they beat us, and they have a better record than us. And
I'm not calling the Steelers a cesspool.
No,
I'm
they're
just saying.
But
Well, you just literally said you want to be careful about that, and then you call them shit.
That was being careful.
Oh, that makes sense. I don't know. It's. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. Really excited to watch it. I don't have my kids, so I don't have to worry about torturing them while watching football.
Of course, family time. He goes back.
Yeah.
My kids should be aware by now that when the Bengals are playing, I'm watching. I try not to watch other football while they're there, but by God, we're watching football. I sometimes be nice and we play a board game while we're watching the game, but the game is on.
It's still in the background.
I disappoint them once during football season every year.
At least once.
At least, well, I mean, it's 16 games. Technically 8 because I only get them every other weekend.
Right. But I do. You know what? I feel good that we do have a chance, and I might not have felt that way a couple of weeks ago, but we touched on it last week that I think there's a culture change going on in Cincinnati. They got rid of some of the trouble. You know, they're bringing in more guys. I think Zach Taylor's finally trying to take the reins a little bit and get this thing under control. Get the garbage out of the locker room that's causing distractions. Bring in people. We signed Quentin from the Bills for the offensive line. So we're making moves, and I think it's helping to change that culture.
Yeah,
and maybe help them believe in Zach Taylor a little more as far as the locker room goes.
And I don't remember the last time we've done trades and free agencies. Yeah. And actually,
Bengals don't sign free agents.
No.
And usually if you trade, you get nothing for it, you know. So they're making some moves. They're trying to change things. They're trying to show they want to build around Burrow. So I do have a good feeling about this game. 3 weeks ago, I would have said, it doesn't work. We don't have a chance. So
I'm stubborn, and I probably would have said it, but, not really meant it. I'm a stubborn man.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm a realistic sports fan, and I take crap for it, especially if I'm like, the Bengals aren't going to win. Like, I want them to win, but they're not going to win. What do you want me to tell you?
I mean, I have a Bengals podcast. I got to try to pretend to be optimistic at times. Despite the name.
Optimism. That's how this works. See that?
Who they bitching about?
Yeah.
What's with these guys? Who they bitching?
Who they bitching?
That's kind of why I came to the name, actually.
And this is actually the first episode that we haven't had to bitch about the offensive line. So.
Well, technically, I guess we talked about the.
Well, we had a combined super show.
We had a super show because we missed 2 games. So we did complain about those games.
We haven't got rich off our podcast yet, so scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, the 8 listens doesn't really give you a lot of money.
Doesn't pay the bills.
Oh, yeah, if you get on ad rates, you can get like $20 per. This is gonna get way off topic, but we should figure out the math. If you can get $20 per 1,000 on advertising, what's the value of 8? Right? It's like
20 cents. Actually, no. I get a penny every time my ad goes, so it's 8 cents.
8 cents. Cha-ching!
Cha-ching!
Every penny counts. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm a shill for Anchor. Shameless promotion.
Dun, dun. Listen to my podcast. I'll get paid.
Have you checked out Anchor?
No.
No, he has an actual good professional podcast.
Okay.
There's a hosting company in Pittsburgh is actually the #1 podcast host, maybe before Anchor. I don't know if after Anchor. Anchor's really gained a lot of. This is sorry for we're going off topic again. I like podcasting, so Anchor has really come in and taken over a lot of the podcast market. But the #1 podcast host in the world is in Pittsburgh. It's called a company called Libsyn, and Libsyn is Pittsburgh based.
Oh,
not Cincinnati based. That's I can tell you about all that. Who they hosting? My podcast.
I don't know where Anchor is. I just know that I'm a poor bastard, and Anchor lets me do these podcasts for free,
and I get 8 cents.
8 cents.
I mean, technically, I have other slightly more successful podcasts,
but we just started.
This one's still new, and no one listens to it yet.
Yeah. Those are, the other ones get 10 cents.
That's right.
No, let's see. The Rage and Blaze show gets an average of about 40 to 60 listens. So as of right now, and that's slowly trending upwards.
Still fairly newer, so.
The same with the That Got Dark podcast, the true crime podcast. It's about the same, and so is the Pro Wrestling Apologist podcast. They're slowly trending up. The longer I have them, and the more content I bring out, they're slowly gaining more and more listens. Where it's stopped being just people I know and my family and friends.
Actual listeners instead of.
Yeah, we even got on the Rage and Blaze show. We even got a random listener send me a message asking me to specifically do a certain show, to review a certain show. So we're actually getting feedback on that one. So that's kind of cool. And he's from California.
Yeah, so we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's the multiverse. You just have to cross promote. I actually just did the Rage and Blaze show, so I was a guest on there. So.
Boom.
Yeah.
If you look at the statistics and you count up all your listens, it's just proof that nobody wants to listen to Cincinnati.
I mean,
You never know if the words the Browns fans might want to listen just to hear us cry. You never know. Never know.
Hate listen,
Yeah.
It's like hate sex.
Wow.
You get pleasure from the Bengals' pain.
Yeah. I mean, I don't judge.
Hey, I try not to. I mean, it took me a while to start getting the listenership that I got on my other shows. And this is our 6th episode?
Something like that, yeah.
So it's not like we've had a lot of episodes. It's still new.
You had a bye week already.
Yeah, we got a bye week already. There's also the fact that we have this is also the kind of show where you kind of want to listen to the first week, and I don't see a lot of people coming back to listen to week 1. It's kind of a topical type thing.
No, have you made any predictions early in the season that you've been bonkers wrong about?
Every score I've guessed.
No, actually, more shocking was I had one that was super close.
Okay. Might have been bad.
Which was that Steelers in week 9. You predicted that.
Oh, we're going to predict at the end of this.
We will give our predictions. We will.